Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to X Sports Today. AJ Good, excuse me, had a donut right before I came on. AJ Good here with Michael Marks. And Michael, we thought we were just going to come in on a Thursday. We're just going to talk, some football, a lot of big games coming up this week. But man, did we ever get the news dump yesterday, today, my goodness, I don't even know where you want to start.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can look at things from both ends of the spectrum, that these are things that are just absolutely unheard of, so it makes it fun to talk about.
Yeah, let's get into the big one locally here. Obviously, head coach Tony Vitello over at the University of Tennessee going to go join the San Francisco Giants, becoming the first sitting college coach to become a manager at the big leagues. An unprecedented move. And the more you think about it and the more you ponder on it, if there's going to be anyone in college baseball you're going to go get to lead a big league club, Vitello was going to be the guy.
Yeah, I know that Tennessee fans obviously are not thrilled about this, but I think you take it as the utmost compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, at the history of college baseball, that there's never been a guy go from sitting as a college coach to an MLB manager without any big league experience, and for Tony to be the first, I think that's exciting. And you look, there's a ton of his former players in that organization. Blade Tidwell, Drew Gilbert, Maui Ahuna, Gavin Keelan, even from this year. So, it's a program that's full of Tennessee guys, and who doesn't want that challenge? He's a young guy. He's 47 years old. He doesn't have any big league experience coaching or playing. So I think this is him wanting to take a big step, and it could lead to many great things for his career.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of things to ponder with it. He'll bring energy. I mean, his guys for the most part should love playing for him. However, the big leagues are a different animal.
Yes,
these are professionals. These aren't kids. These are guys who have seen some things, have done some things. And now, instead of maybe in an athletic department, you have a couple bosses. Now you've got tens
Yeah.
of bosses and guys. Now, you're obviously higher up on the hierarchy. And then when you think about it, at the University of Tennessee, not every coaching decision you make is going to be scrutinized.
Yes.
Now every coaching decision you make, the big leagues, now be this isn't college anymore.
No.
This isn't this. This isn't that. There's a lot that comes with this. And obviously there's going to be a lot of what's the word? A lot of give and take.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot that he's going to have to learn. But I feel positive for him.
Oh, yes.
I think he's got a good attitude, and I think I've seen him how he's handled Tennessee's media before in some difficult spots. But again, the college level, you're maybe playing 50 games top of the year. Now you're going to triple, if not quadruple that. There's a lot more into this job. And it's going to be a learning adjustment, a learning curve for him.
Yeah, the biggest thing for him that I'm curious about is, when you're a college coach at Tennessee, you build your own roster. Now you have a front office giving you a roster, and you have to coach them. So I think it's going to challenge him as a coach, as a baseball mind. But like I said earlier, if anybody is ready for that job, it's Tony Vitello. I really do think that.
And not only that, a minor league system and draft process. The whole
I would say, there's a lot more that you don't have that you don't see in the college game.
And obviously, everyone wants Josh Elander. Literally every player, and then every player that they used to have, they have now. You've got other coaches across the country coming out in support. Obviously, Danny White's got a pretty easy decision. Literally, if he wants to keep this train rolling, he's got the guy right in front of him.
But you know what? I'm one of the very few people that I'm slightly against it in a way, and I look at it from a recent example. Texas A&M last year. Jim Schlossnagle leaves from Texas A&M, goes to Texas. Michael Early, who is their hitting coach and their third base coach, similar to what Elander was, gets the job, keeps the team around. And they were terrible last year. They were not nearly as good of a baseball team. Obviously lost a bunch of talent.
I was about to say.
I would say
half of that.
Yeah, I would say he lost a lot of talent, but it just didn't. It felt weird the whole time. They had a couple of good series here or there. I don't know if Elander's a proven winner. He's 37 years old, a young guy. So I think long term it could be a good answer, but. You definitely want to keep the ship rolling, so you would think you have to keep him and Frank Anderson around.
Yeah, here's now to some big news out of the NBA. Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant coach Damon Jones been arrested as part of a pair of wide-ranging investigations related to illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the Mafia, authorities announced Thursday. Billups and Rozier have been placed on leave for their teams. The NBA said in a statement, a total of 34 people were arrested as a result of a years-long investigation covering 11 states involving tens of millions of dollars. FBI Director Kash Patel said law enforcement officials said the multiple charges involved 4 mafia families and organized crime networks, with Patel saying money involved, the fraud is mind-boggling. This happened around March of 2023 to March of 2024. The Rozier part, just to kind of give you guys the cliff notes, involved prop bets.
Yes.
They got one on him here where he told somebody that I think it was 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and he went out with a fake foot injury. He actually told a guy, hey, I'm going to go out with this injury in the first quarter, which he did. He only ended up with 5 points and 2 assists.
Yep.
Sportsbooks immediately caught that, sent that to the league. The league investigated him and cleared him. So that's a pretty bad
that's a bad look
by the league. This is going to get ugly. And then Billups is more, even though he's a little bit tied to that one investigation because someone matching his description, the word got out that a bunch of stars weren't going to play at this game against Chicago.
Yep.
They didn't. They got beat. A lot of people made a lot of money there. The Billups thing is involved with celebrity poker tournaments, where they brought in big money people and basically rigged the games against them. They had cameras underneath the tables.
Yep.
They had illegal card readers, people literally wearing technology in their glasses and their eye contacts.
Yeah.
Some pretty crazy stuff. Jones is more implicated on the Rozier side.
Yes.
Billups is more on the gambling side, but man, Read whatever article you can find. It's going to take you a good, not only kind of 10 minutes to read it, but about 25 minutes to process it. If you're someone who believes that the league is fixed, this is certainly fitting into your conspiracy.
I'm about to say, because now you start.
I don't know if it's turning into. I don't know if it's just a conspiracy anymore.
Well, the way that Patel made it sounded, this is a case that they have been building for a long time, and then that makes you go back to the Knicks getting Patrick Ewing and little moments like that, the 2001 Western Conference Finals. There's little moments like that where you just start going, okay, how big of an impact really is this? And I think we have a huge problem in sports. We've just seen this with Major League Baseball. Now we're seeing it with the NBA. There's guys in the NFL with it all the time. And, ESPN, I get that they're, kind of on the front of this as well, as they're sitting here, Mike Greenberg on First Take is, why are these athletes doing this, that, and the other? And then you look at the bottom line, his betting odds are scrolling across the bottom, and ESPN's got their ESPN bet. The Bally Sports is now turned into FanDuel Sports. I mean, everything, it seems like in this world, is run by sports gambling, and now we're shocked when the athletes are doing it too. It's mind-blowing. Now, the Chauncey Billups thing with the crime families and high-stakes poker, that is a completely different realm that hasn't been talked about much, and it's just strange. Of all the people, Chauncey Billups to be involved in a high-stakes poker game that is involving mafia families.
It is certainly interesting, certainly a lot to think about. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is crazy that we're kind of in this world. We really don't know what to think about it. And we also have what's his face, Beasley.
Yes,
Beasley, who's been implicated on some other things. He hasn't been picked up. We had the case with the guy from the Raptors.
Yep.
Was it last year or a year before?
I think it was year before.
His most of this involves player prop bets. And
well, those are the easiest to rig, so to speak. Because if it's a guy, you expect him to get more than 4 assists. He can go out there, sling the rock around all night. It's little things like that.
Yeah. So we go from that to big news out of the SEC. That an official has been banned. Not his crew, but just the official. Head official Kim Williamson. That was the lead official for the Auburn Georgia game. And the league missed that he deemed that of 11 controversial calls, he missed 11. He missed 9 of them. So now he has been permanently suspended. His crew will remain. They'll just have a new white hat. And
I mean,
this is getting wild.
Well, this is the third story we talked about today, out of 3 that are just unheard of. Because when I think of SEC white hats, especially right now, Matt Austin is long retired. Ken Williamson's kind of the 1-1 when you think of it, and the fact that the SEC has gone in and we're like, okay, they're giving punishments to these guys that are part-time workers, so to speak. Props to the SEC for taking accountability because, I know we've talked about Auburn, week in and week out. It's like, okay, you actually got to go win a game. But when it's happening every week, and it's not just Auburn games, it's happened in other teams' games, I like to see that the SEC is sort of taking accountability with this and saying, okay, we're going to suspend, the guy when you think of SEC officiating and kind of set the precedence that it doesn't matter if you're a big time official or if you're the guy doing an ESPN Plus game. There are consequences to your actions.
Yeah, and it also makes you think with this NBA stuff. You had 11 controversial calls. You missed 9 of them.
Ooh, yeah.
That's all I thought about after reading all this stuff today. I'm like,
yeah,
I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, we had a guy in the NBA. You mentioned it earlier, Mike. This stuff,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started dating my wife, I heard all the time of the Bama calls. Alabama always gets the calls, and I would love to maybe. What were the sports books saying at that point in time about some of this stuff? Maybe that's why they got those calls, and maybe they got this.
I would say I'm wondering if you go back to maybe not like anything in the last 10 years, but go back to like 2013. And I'll pick a game out of the dark, not thinking about it. But like Alabama LSU, was there a call in the middle of that fourth quarter that may have changed a field goal or a punt, and the spread changed because of that?
Okay, well, Alabama fans were not accused.
No.
Just we're just
that was an example like the Alabama refs.
We're just talking about SEC officials in general, that just some sketchy, weird things happen.
Well, they've had their bad moments, but I feel like this year it has been amplified to a much higher degree.
And I think it's college football wide. I still think of Iowa State at Colorado, where the guy gets tackled in the end zone. It's correctly called, and then you reverse it. Your mind nowadays kind of goes to that, and I hate that.
Well, I will say in the last 3 or 4 years, I have noticed a crazy amount of flags that we picked up the flag. There was no passing interference. Never saw that before 2017 or 2018.
Texas, Georgia, someone gets hurt and they're watching the replays on the video board and they decide to change it.
Yep. It's a problem.
I mean, it is.
But I'm glad that they're trying to crack down on it.
And I think the biggest thing, and my biggest thing when it comes to not only officiating at that level, at the pro and the college level, but also here, I think the biggest thing I want to see, and I think fans in general want to see, is accountability.
Yes.
If that guy is screwing up that much at that high of a level, he needs to be punished. He needs to be taken care of. Just like around here, if these guys are not guys, if for the most part, I will say our officiating is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Do I get on them every now and again? Sure, that's natural. But, and will the fans get on them no matter what? That's just...
good habits, good, bad, or indifferent.
You can make the perfect call and they're still going to yell at you. But there's guys around here that are clearly not up to snuff with some of the other guys, and it pulls everyone down with you because everything after that looks like a makeup call.
Yep.
Like, there needs to be a repercussion for those guys. Like, they don't need to be doing varsity high school games. They need to be down at the middle school level, or maybe take you to TVBA for a little bit before you learn how this game actually works.
Well, the one thing you said right there, makeup call, that should never be a thing.
No.
But it's everywhere, and you can point it out in almost every game you watch. It's like, there was a bad call here. That was a makeup call.
Or maybe the other officials they're actually making the right call, but it appears to be a makeup call because that guy's call was so wrong. So
and then it makes everyone look bad.
Yeah, it's all the things. Well, coming up next, Mike, we will actually take a look at the slate of college football games when we return.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretta, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Welcome to Employee Resources Credit Union, where you're more than just a number, you're family. We provide financial solutions that rise above those of traditional banks. With roots stretching back to 1964, we've served 4 generations during constant industry changes. We're known for our low fees and incredible rates. Join us and experience the credit union difference. BRCU, not for profit, for service.
Comprehensive care with a compassionate touch. That will always be the guarantee at Encompass Healthcare in Etheridge, Tennessee. Whether you're looking for primary or urgent care, x-ray services, or weight loss treatments, the team at Encompass is equipped to serve your needs today. The doors are open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5 and from 8 to noon on Fridays. Make an appointment with providers Kendra Brown, Tori Cox, or Ellie Brown today. That's Encompass Healthcare, located on Highway 43 North in Etheridge, next door to Chapman Tire.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
All right, Mike, back here on X Sports Today. AJ Good with Michael Marks. And Mike, we're finally out of all the controversies going down. We're actually going to talk a little bit of college football. We've had a lot of CUSA.
They've taken over the midweek.
On Tuesday and Wednesday, but Maxim picks up two weeks from now. We got a Sun Belt game tonight. 1-6 South Alabama and 1-6 Georgia State. Both of them 0-3 in the Sun Belt. So someone's got to get a win. They're at Old Turner Field tonight. Then Friday, not really an exciting slate. North Texas is at Charlotte. North Texas should win handily. Cal at Virginia Tech.
That one could get interesting.
Virginia Tech's 4.5-point favorites. And then Boise at Nevada, even though I guess Cal's is not a good road team.
Yeah, I would say and they've struggled later in the season as they've kind of gotten into the heart of it.
Yeah. Let's go into Saturday now, 11 a.m. Who would have thought that we would have to analyze UCLA and Indiana after the first 4 weeks of the season? But UCLA sitting at 3-1 in the Big Ten. Indiana's undefeated, ranked second in the country. Who thought we'd be saying that? But this is a interesting game. They got IU 26.5-point favorites. I mean, I don't count out. I don't think UCLA is going to win. I'm just more on the debating.
That could be one of those midway through the third quarter. You're like, wow, it's still close there.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was sitting here thinking while I'm, I was writing up some games for my show tomorrow. It was, what if UCLA beats Indiana? I know that there's a slim but almost near 0% chance, but what if?
What if?
Because I mean that would flip everything on its head. Now you have a 4-4 UCLA team that's top in their conference because they haven't lost a conference game.
Right, and they've got that offense rolling. The defense has been playing really good, very underrated on that. Like last week, played really, really well. When the offense wasn't really clicking, but they've got to go on the road. And they actually, Michigan State, they looked really good on the road, but this might be a little bit of a different. I mean, obviously, we think Indiana's going to win. It's the question is whether or not UCLA can cover. I think they can.
Oh yes.
Also in the 11 a.m. slate Central Time, Georgia Tech hosting Syracuse. I think we know Syracuse just hasn't been the same since Angeli went down. He's still their leading passer.
Well, that should tell you all you need to know. He went down in week 4?
Yeah, exactly. So Georgia Tech 16.5-point favorites in that game. I think safely to say they'll cover and win pretty easily there. Also at 11 a.m. we got a big matchup. Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Two teams literally 6-1 records. Ole Miss is 3-1. The SEC, Oklahoma 2-1. And I think both these teams kind of evenly matched. Both of them with kind of banged up quarterbacks a little bit, with really good defenses. OU 5.5-point favorites, 52.5-point total points.
This one's interesting.
I'm leaning towards Ole Miss, and I'm leaning towards the under. The total points.
Yeah. I obviously, like you mentioned, both quarterbacks are banged up. I just feel like Ole Miss's defense, with the way Oklahoma plays, they love the big explosive plays. They haven't been able to make them because Mateer's arm obviously isn't 100% yet, because the way he throws, his thumb is very important, and he pretty much has no mobility of it. Ole Miss can capitalize off some turnovers big time. Again, both teams have stingy defenses. I do see this one being more on the underside of things, but I like Ole Miss. I think they can get one more score than Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. Oops.
Because their run game just still hasn't been up to par yet.
Yeah, Virginia and North Carolina, 10.5-point favorites on the road. I can't believe it's just 10.5. Maybe that Washington State game has deterred them a little bit, but I think they cover and cover going away. Interesting one. I would have thought that both of these teams would be – they're both identical, 6-1. One's 3-0 in the American, the other's 2-1. But South Florida and Memphis at noon. That's on ESPN2. Got the Bulls 5.5-point favorites, 16.5-point total points there. I think Memphis got to wake up. It's either going to be they get a wake-up call and they win this game, or it's Penn State and the Bulls just absolutely boat race.
And see, I'm leaning towards that just because of the way USF has played in big games. They looked good at Florida.
Right.
Obviously, didn't look good at Miami. I think that they were kind of doomed to lose that one from the start, just the way that it led up to the game. I think
North Texas game swayed me.
Yes, big time. And the big thing is that Byron Brown can't throw.
Yeah.
He showed he can use his arm very effectively the past couple of weeks, and they're not a 6-1 team that's 20-17 here, 24-21 here. No, they're beating teams like 63-35.
Yeah.
They're putting up incredibly big numbers, and Memphis kind of got punched in the face last weekend with UAB. I'm kind of curious to see how they bounce back.
Yeah. Underrated one. It's not a ranked game. Northwestern at Nebraska. That's also at 11 a.m. Northwestern, one of the many, kind of bulked in that 3-1.
Yep.
They're 5-2 overall. They've been obviously their 2 losses to Oregon and Tulane. 2 pretty good programs there. Nebraska is 8.5-point favorites. I think the Wildcats cover could potentially win that game.
Yeah, I have them winning. Look, Northwestern just played their best game of the season last week. It was Purdue, but they beat them 19-0. That defense is stout, and they know that their offense isn't going to be able to put up crazy numbers, so they don't force them to. Nebraska looked terrible last week against Minnesota. They do have an extra day of rest, as that game was on a Friday. I just like Northwestern in this one. It's something about that they just don't feel like they should be there, but they are. And I feel like this is one that Nebraska could overlook.
And I don't think this team gets shaken by anybody.
No.
At all. Underrated one, the ACC at the 11 a.m. slate. SMU at Wake Forest. SMU's tied atop at the ACC right now at 3-0. They're giving them 3.5 points there. I don't know. There's something about those noon Eastern games of Wake Forest that some of these teams travel to. Clemson always seemed to get that slot when they were good, and they always struggled with it.
I think that one could have some serious points in it. SMU does not have a very good defense, and Robbie Ashford at quarterback for Wake is very shifty, very can make big plays out of nothing. I like SMU in that one, but a lot of points.
Let's talk UConn Rice. I'm just kidding. Auburn at Arkansas at 11:45. He's coaching for his job here, don't you think?
I have a hot take about this one. I think Arkansas wins by 2 scores.
I might triple.
Yeah,
I think it's 3 scores.
Yeah, I think it could be like a 38-13 kind of game. And not saying that I think Arkansas's defense can get some stops. I don't think Auburn can put up nearly enough points.
No, I mean, they got total points 56.5. Who's to say Arkansas won't put that up
themselves? Yeah. I mean, look at what they did last week to Texas A&M. And Texas A&M held Auburn to 10.
Right.
And 7 of those came from 98 yards of a pick six.
Right. Yeah, so now on the Akron Buffalo. Again, I'm just kidding.
Go Zips.
Go Zips. Bama at South Carolina. Bama 11.5-point favorites. I would say, okay, it's a trap game. I don't think. I think they cover.
I think they win big. And it was something I said on my show. I think that we're getting to a point where Shane Beamer's going to start having to worry about job security. And more than that, he needs to worry about Lenore Sellers' security because he has no help around him. Their offensive coordinator, Mike Shula, is completely inept.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't pay $4 or $5 million to get a 6'4", 240-pound mobile quarterback in the portal?
Or he could be already on his way out to Blacksburg.
Yep.
But I'm hearing some rumors some guy just got fired, might be in the running there in Blacksburg.
It could be.
Just is what it is.
It could be.
I'm just the third party here. I'm just relaying what I hear when I'm texting, what I'm literally getting right now. So in another game, the 2:30 slot, game day going to be there back in Nashville, Missouri and Vanderbilt. Mike, this is really weird for me to say, especially knowing that what they have remaining. They got Texas, 2 home games against Auburn, Kentucky, then at Tennessee. Texas and Tennessee are both ranked and on the road. Trap game?
Does it feel weird to have Vanderbilt in a trap game?
It feels weird. It feels weird to call this a trap game.
Yeah.
Because, Missouri isn't that, sexy name, but Missouri is really, really good. But also for Missouri, is this only like their second road game? And they did not look good at Auburn last week.
I was just about to bring that up. Their first road game of the season at Auburn last weekend did not look good, and that was already a deterred Auburn program coming into it.
Right.
I think Vandy is about as high as they can get right now. I mean, top 10 for the first time in 70 years, so... it's good, good vibes all around that program. But yeah, this one does kind of have a sneaky trap game feel to it just because Vanderbilt's sitting here. It's like, okay, win this one. But it's like, we got to beat Texas. We got to beat Tennessee. Because they're looking at, how many more do we need for a playoff spot? Because at 6 wins, you don't need a whole lot more.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's a tricky game because Missouri's got a really good running game. Vandy's got a decent enough defense, but it's not,
it's not blowing anybody away.
It's not blowing anyone away. Another game at the 2:30 mark. BYU's at Iowa State. BYU undefeated in the season, undefeated in the Big 12. Iowa State 2.5-point favorites. And this, I've watched enough Big 12 football. I've seen a lot of teams, including my own teams, talking about you, going there late October, early November, flying high, undefeated, think you're going to win the league and lose.
Yeah.
That has that written all over this game. I'm taking the Cyclones.
Yeah, but say Vegas has already given Iowa State 2.5. They're a little banged up, but playing at home in front of your home crowd with a big game like this. Yeah, I'm about to say Ames is an impossible place to win at, it feels like. And BYU kind of limping in following that win against Utah. They're missing a lot of their secondary. I think that could prove to be.
Linebackers got hurt too.
How about to say they're really hurt at defense. I think Iowa State, despite being a bit banged up themselves, will have the momentum enough to get them a win in that one.
Illinois ranked at Washington. Washington 3.5-point favorites. Give me the Huskies. I don't think Illinois wins that game.
And both teams are coming off losses. Illinois had a bye week after that game against Ohio State. I like the Illini a little more just for the fact that Washington is missing some guys up front. It's going to make it a lot harder to run the ball. It'll make it a lot harder to defend Damon Williams. But it's Washington at home.
Yeah.
They typically don't play very bad at home. It's a toss-up, but right now I'm leaning Illinois.
Minnesota and Iowa. It's not a ranked game, but they're both 5-2. They're both in that big pack, 3-1 in the Big Ten. This is where teams start to separate themselves. It's at Iowa.
Yeah.
And
look at the over/under on that one. I mean,
it's 8.5.
Yeah.
And I think Minnesota covers, but I think Iowa wins by 8.
Yeah, I think
Iowa wins by 8, and it's not as close as what the 8 points is going to look.
Yeah, it's going to be like 18-11. There'll be 4 safeties or something like that going on. It's going to be weird, but I'll tell you, the winner of this game is going to earn it.
Yeah.
Because these are two smash-mouth football kind of teams. Hits you in the face. Both teams coming off big wins from the week before.
It's 55 degrees there.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and it'll probably be even colder at that point on Saturday.
Is it daylight savings time this weekend?
I think it's the next.
The next weekend?
It should be.
But
give or
the
take.
shadows are going to be on the field. I'm telling everyone right now, Kinnick Stadium.
Give me the Hawkeyes.
39.5 points is the total points. Take the under. Kinnick Stadium, it might be the most underrated, of the Power Four's most underrated places to go play because.
And I feel like it gets kind of the same rap as like a South Carolina. It's like you don't think about it, but then you see a big game there and you're like, oh, wow, this is crazy.
Good teams win at South Carolina. Not
good teams don't
win
it.
Teams don't win at Iowa.
I would say because
how many times has Ohio State or Penn State gone in there as a top 5 team and gotten boat raced?
I've seen it happen with my own eyes many times. Fun fact about Iowa though, their quarterback has not thrown a touchdown since September 13th.
And they're 3-1 in the Big Ten.
Well, I would say he's no passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns. It's Iowa football.
Minnesota's got a good quarterback. But
yes,
I don't think that translates on the road.
Not in this environment.
Actually, they've recovered from losing to the worst team in the Big 12 pretty well. They're 5-2, 3-1, 5.5-point favorites at home against NC State. I think hate kills me to say this. I think the Panthers cover there.
Yeah. I really like their new quarterback that I didn't like them switching from Holstein, but this kid has been really good.
He got beat up in Morgantown. That's why they had to get rid of him. How's Navy not ranked? What's going on?
It's Navy. You just always assume that it's Navy. They're not going to be any good. It's a military academy.
6-0, 4-0 in the AAC. They got FAU coming up. They're 13.5-point favorites. They're going to win that by 30.
Yeah, I would say I really like the midshipmen because they've been one of those service academy teams that's been putting up some points this year. They're scoring a lot. Their quarterback Blake Horvath almost 1,000 yards, which at this point in the season it feels crazy, but it's the military academy. Yeah. He's thrown it 81 times this year. It's incredible.
That's awesome. Texas Tech is hosting Oklahoma State, 37.5-point favorites. I think the Red Raiders, we don't need to talk. They're going to cover. They're going to rebound. Oklahoma State, that's a job no one's talking about in the job market right now. I'm curious because I'm not even seeing names that could be popping up for that.
Got a couple. Two, and they're both smaller school coaches out of Texas. I think G.J. Kinney at Texas State is a really good candidate. Young guy, 38, 39. And then a guy that's a couple years older than him, Eric Morris, the guy at North Texas. Right. Obviously, I mean, look at what he's done with a freshman quarterback. And North Texas has never been thought of
that's
as
right. I did see his name pop
It
up
has never been a big, North Texas has never been a big team.
They're going to get a group of 5 guys.
Yes.
They're not going to get a sitting power forward.
I would say they want a young guy that they can just kind of leave alone for 20 years like they did with Gundy and then check back in later and see how he's doing.
Baylor at Cincinnati at the 3 o'clock slot. The Bearcats 3.5-point favorites there. I think Vegas.
Points. There will be points.
Yeah, there will be points. 67.5 I don't think Baylor knows what they're walking into there. No. That's one of my favorite. I love Nippert Stadium.
It's a great one.
Right on top of you. It's really loud, especially in the close part where that's the entire student section. It's really loud. Baylor just does not. I don't know. They're just so hit and miss.
Yeah, and this year it's been a lot more miss. They had a big game on the road last week at TCU and Sawyer Robertson.
They've won in Oklahoma State, but
everybody has.
Yeah, you got to go cross country into a pretty hostile environment.
And Cincinnati has been really, really good this year. Yes. They're beating up on teams they should beat up on.
In the Big 12.
I would say I'm waiting for Cincinnati to get an early game on ESPN or a midday game on ESPN where somebody can see them and be like, okay, maybe they're
on
better.
ESPN too, midday.
I would say so. Maybe they'll have some eyes on it, but I think Cincinnati is much better than the 21st team in the country.
Texas at Mississippi State. Longhorns 7.5-point favorites.
It's got upset written on it.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. I'm really loving the Bulldogs here, not just to cover, potentially win this because, I mean, Texas in general. They've nothing impresses you about this.
And they weren't impressive last year. I think this was a 24-14 game, something like that. It was a close game, and I think Mississippi State is much better this year. I mean, you can tell from top to bottom, especially starting with their quarterback play. Blake Shapen had some crazy numbers at Florida last week. They didn't get enough points, but 23, 20, 21, 24 points, something like that could be enough to beat Texas. Yeah. I mean, they had 13 last week against Kentucky.
And again, remember, Vandy's after this.
Yes.
At home.
They could be looking ahead.
We're both in trap games this week in Starkville with the cowbells. And I think A&M's annoying.
I was like, and you got to look. Mississippi State's played their last 2 conference games on the road at A&M, at Florida. Now they're back home in front of their own crowd. I think that's going to be
for the worst interception of the season. Mississippi State would have won that.
Yeah, they. I mean, it's one of those.
Why are you throwing the ball in that situation to begin
I would say I had the game up on my iPad and I just did this.
I was doing
what are you doing?
I woke up my son as he was asleep. Wisconsin and Oregon. I would say is Luke Fickell coaching for his job, but the AD is saying they're giving the guy money.
Yeah.
So they're going to ride it out at least to next year.
Had they not before, and they were like, okay, he's not good without NIL money. Maybe we need to give him some.
That's one of my big pet peeves because you hear it more of like the FCS and Division II level. You fire the previous coach. We're going to fully invest. Like, why didn't you do that?
Why didn't you? Yeah, why weren't you?
I at least give him credit for doing that. Miami hosting Stanford 29.5-point favorite. Oregon was 31.5-point.
Have you seen Miami's uniforms for this weekend? They're bringing out a camo look. And some Miami fans are worried because Carson Beck threw 4 picks last week and they weren't wearing camouflage. And the fact that they're bringing it out this week has them a little worried. And
I love it when schools in areas where they don't hunt camo.
Like I liked when ULM did it. That felt like a very ULM thing.
But Louisiana.
But that looks like an Army jersey.
Like, is there a naval base around there?
Maybe I would say there might be something in Coral Gables, but I doubt it.
It always it's like a short story. My cousin's husband, he's big. He's from Tampa, and they came up one time when I was in college, and he's like big in the guns, and big trucks, trying to be a redneck. And I took him on some country roads back in West Virginia.
Yeah,
he got car sick so bad. He threw up everywhere, and I'm thinking, boy, you think you're country?
Yeah, let's say you can't even make it down a back road, then you're really done for.
Going to the night games, Mike. A&M at LSU. Aggies 2.5-point favorites there on the road. This is LSU's not out of it by any stretch of the imagination.
They still have 2 losses. They're fine.
Still got 2 losses. They're fine. And when you're looking at Bama and Oklahoma left on your schedule, that if Arkansas kind of catches some fire, you beat them. That looks good. If Western Kentucky's the best team out of CUSA, that looks good. But I think not only is LSU playing for their college football playoff wise, I think Brian Kelly is coaching for his coaching.
Yeah, I think it's starting to get a little warm down there. This game, though, it feels like every year the team that is on fire, hot going into it, just completely lays an egg. I remember LSU last year looked really good going into it. Garrett Nussmeier threw like 5 picks. LSU in 2022 when they went out to College Station. Funny enough, it's LSU going to College Station again that year, but LSU was number 6 or 7 in the country and had a chance to be a playoff team, went out there and lost. So it feels like usually when there's a team that looks like they're doing really good versus a team that doesn't look like they're as hot, that team that's in second place out of those two looks to have the better luck. I don't know if LSU's got enough to pull it out, though.
A&M scored a lot of points on the road. It was 40-plus at Notre Dame. They got 45 last week at Arkansas.
Yep.
At least their offense looks comfortable on the road. I don't know. Their defense probably won't have to do much against LSU in this one.
Yeah, and I think the run game's interesting because they are dealing with a little bit of running back issue at A&M with injuries, but as is LSU. So it's going to be a battle of attrition in that one.
Louisville hosting Boston College. Cardinals 25.5-point favorites. I don't know. They might beat them by 25. I don't know if they'll beat them by more than that. That number seems a little bit high.
And they're going to be riding off that wave from beating Miami a week ago.
And, the emotional high from that, and I love Jeff Brom as a coach, but he always kind of struggles when he has high yields like that. Michigan and Michigan State. Wolverines 14.5-point favorites. Michigan State might be looking to get rid of their coach after this, especially after not taking the rivalries. Why? Why do and it's Big Ten coaches are the ones that do that.
Yep.
Like, wwhy do you it's just another game? Like, no. Like, do you want your job? Like, don't say that.
And Michigan State, I mean, that's Michigan State's probably their biggest game of the year.
Right.
I would say, obviously they've had the little flings with the Penn States and the Ohio States, but Michigan is the game.
Yeah.
And they haven't been very competitive in it lately. I think Jonathan Smith may have gotten a win his first year in that one, but
I don't know. He hasn't.
No, because this is his third year, second year. Okay,
second or third, but I think Harbaugh. No,
I think it was. I'm thinking of Mel
Harbaugh's
Tucker. His last year
was Tucker got fired before the like way before the game. Like he got fired in the non-conference.
But I think that he had won it the year before. I think the COVID year is what I'm thinking
2 years
of.
Before he had won it. Yeah, when they had that loaded roster. And the next week 2 weeks later got smashed by Ohio State. Other night games. Tennessee, Kentucky. Vols 8.5-point favorites, 54.5 total points. Kentucky put up a lot of yards last week, but that might be kind of a one and done. I really like the Vols here in this one.
Well, I would be okay giving up 350 yards to Kentucky as long as we can hold them to 10 points because that means it's not going to be a very long night watching for me. I just want to take this game from the look of a Tennessee fan. They need to win this one, and they need to win it big. They need to win it convincingly because I don't know if you see everything going on campus, but it's an absolute crap show. I mean, you got people calling out the women's basketball coach, the athletic director, baseball players. It's not looking good because when a fire starts, everybody just wants to throw more flame on it. Apparently, I think Tennessee just needs to win this game, shut Kentucky up, and just go back into Monday morning. It's a new week, and just try to restart.
I do love your AD. He was talking about that, and the first question the reporters are just like, "What report?" It's like, well, it was out there. It's like some anonymous, like some no name, no one actually.
It was a radio show. It was Tony Basilio.
Exactly. Like it's some just dumb rumor thrown out there. No one actually reported it. Even Vol fans are like, Danny, like, come on, man. Like, don't go down that road. So that's very interesting there. Houston and Arizona State, both teams 3-1 in the Big 12. Obviously, Arizona State's got their guy back. Houston struggled a bit on the road, and they've struggled against teams with numbers beside their name.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I thought about going in. Houston last week got the big win against Arizona, but Arizona State got, following their worst loss of the season, gets their best win of the season. I think if Sam Levitt's still going to be playing, I like Arizona State. He's going to shred that Houston defense, and they don't have an offense that can put up enough points.
In our final game, Utah hosting Colorado. Utes 13.5-point favorites.
That's one to watch out for. Devin Dampier questionable right now for Utah.
Okay.
And Colorado has kind of been on the fringe of winning some of these big games, so keep an eye on that one.
Now over to the NFL. We'll just go straight into that. We got to be out by 3 o'clock. I've got a meeting. He's got to go on the road and all kinds of. And yeah, got to do some interviews. And he's got some middle school games tonight. Got a game tonight. Minnesota at the Chargers. It's an interesting one here, Mike. Chargers 3.5-point favorites, 44.5 total points. Minnesota they need a bounce back in a big way, and I really don't know what Chargers team's going to show up day in and day out.
Yeah, because you could have the team that absolutely blows it against the Giants, or you could have that team that was running up points in the first couple of weeks. If you're LA, Minnesota all year has gone win lose win lose win lose. They're back on a win look, so maybe they can get it done tonight. But they're going to need a lot more from Carson Wentz. I feel like he had that good first game, and then it's kind of started turning the ball over a little bit more, stuff like that.
Carson Wentz things.
Exactly. I think it's going to be which quarterback. And I know this may sound really dumb, but which quarterback screws up the least. Because Herbert and Wentz have their moments where they. You question their intelligence as an NFL quarterback.
Dolphins at the Falcons, first game. We don't have anything overseas at 8:30 in the morning. Praise Jesus!
Finally,
Falcons are great at home. They're 2-1 at home. The Dolphins are awful. They're 0-4 away. Falcons 7.5-point favorites. They're going to cover.
And they've looked much better following that loss to Carolina, that 30-0 blowout. They've looked much better, and the Dolphins keep getting worse every week. I mean, they lost by 25 last week to the Browns.
Yeah. Bengals at the Jets. I think they might have found something with Joe Flacco, at least to kind of be a good stopgap. They win this one. They go to 4-4. The Jets, my goodness, you got your owner saying your quarterback sucks.
Yeah.
And now your coach won't tell you who the quarterback is because I guess Tyrod Taylor's hurt too. Like one can't complete a pass, the other one can't walk. Like what's...
You got two teams on very different spectrums. Obviously, the Jets, I mean, they're so close. It feels like if they had a quarterback, they'd probably have a couple wins at this point in the season. But going up against that Bengals team, I think they'll have a chance to put up some points. But with the way that Burrow or with the way with Flacco and Jamar Chase got in touch this last week, that's gonna be a tough one too to stop.
Patriots at the Browns. Patriots 6.5-point favorites. Browns are just not good on the road. It's not going to be a high-scoring game because the Browns' defense. I mean, people are really starting to give them credit because they do get stops. It just, if Dylan Gabriel can kind of continue on a good trajectory, they might be able to make this competitive, but it might be just too little too late against that Patriots team.
Yeah, and obviously they've looked really good all season. I mean, big wins against Buffalo, Carolina, beating them by 30 points. I think Drake May's probably one of your best young quarterbacks in the NFL this season, and I think it's made them fun to watch. And I like seeing Mike Vrabel have a team in the NFL, and they look good doing it.
Yeah. Giants at the Eagles. Giants will look better.
Yeah.
Offensively under Jackson Dart. Eagles 7.5-point favorites. Eagles just don't blow people out. I like the Giants to cover. They might win, but I at least like them to cover there.
Yeah, I would say I think it'll be much closer than that Thursday night game from a couple weeks ago, but I do like New York in this one again.
Bills at the Panthers. Bills 7.5-point favorites, but the Panthers are 3-0 at home, and the Bills have sliding off a little bit after some early success.
Yeah, you're starting to see the lack of wide receiver depth for the Bills, and obviously they've got some guys out right now with injuries, and their offense has struggled because of it. 20 points 2 weeks ago against New England, 14 the week after against Atlanta, and this Panthers team is doing just enough to win. I think you're going to need to see some Josh Allen get some help if they want to get this one.
Bears at Ravens. Ravens are 6.5-point favorites in this game. I'm guessing that's maybe Lamar Jackson's back, or I don't know.
I think he's supposed to be back for this one, but even if he is, how much does that help? I mean, your defense has been abysmal this year. 44 points to Houston, 37 to Kansas City. I mean, the 38 to Detroit's explainable, but those. It's just it makes you shake your head. If you're the Bears, score 25 or 26, that should be good enough to get it done. That's been the way that it has been the last 3 weeks. I like the Bears in this one. I think Vegas is looking too heavy into the fact that it's the Ravens.
49ers at the Texans. They got Houston 1.5 favorite, but
I'm not counting out the Niners.
They're
half the team's hurt.
Half the team's hurt. They're out there with duct tape and bubble gum putting them together, and they're still finding a way to win games, especially against teams that aren't exactly on their level. So I think they'll find a way there. Bucks at Saints. Bucks 3.5-point favorites. Saints aren't bad at home, but I don't think they're good enough to win or to cover there. Cowboys at Broncos. Denver 3.5-point favorites at home. It's going to be a lot of points. I think that's our highest. 50.5 is the total points. That's our highest, I believe, of the week.
And we joke with that. That's a bad college game.
Yeah, that's a bad college game. But, man, these two offenses can put up points, and two defenses struggle a little bit to stop teams.
Yeah, I would say the Broncos has looked a little better. They've held, teams like, I guess it's the Jets to, 11 2 weeks ago. But I still think that I feel a little more comfortable with their defense than Dallas. Dallas is letting everybody run up and down the field against them. So I'm going to take Denver in this one. I've really been liking Bo Nix, especially, they put up 33 points in a quarter last Sunday. How can you go against that?
Titans at the Colts. Colts by 50. We'll move on. Packers at the Steelers, a night game. Interesting one here.
It should be a good one.
A really good one. They got the Packers 2.5-point favorites. Steelers, man, they just find ways to win. It kind of gives you that Ben Roethlisberger feel, maybe because Aaron is just old and immobile. But they, I don't know if the defense can get some stops. Jordan Love hasn't exactly proven to me or anybody that he can consistently for 60 minutes move the ball up and down the field. The Steelers can get enough stops and let Aaron make enough plays. They could win this game.
Yeah, I think this one's going to come down to which defense can make a bigger play, get a bigger stop, because both teams on offense have looked really good. Both teams on defense have looked a little shaky. So I think it's going to come down to which defense can get the bigger stop, and that team will probably win the game.
And our final game, Monday night, Washington to Kansas City.
Wow.
Kansas City, 11.5-point favorites. I was pretty shocked by that, too.
I understand that the Commanders are a little beat up. Obviously, they're going to be without Jaden Daniels because of the hamstring injury, and it feels like Debo and Terry McLaurin never play anymore. So, their offense is going to be missing some pieces, but that's still asking a lot of Kansas City, who, has looked really good in the past couple of weeks, but I don't know if I like them enough to give them 12 points in that one.
Yeah. I would say to guess we already know what our cheapest game of the week is. Still Tampa and New Orleans, but we had some kind of in that 30 and 40 range, but man, this might be the most expensive week to get into games.
$23?
$301 to see the Giants and Philly. Still $31 to see tonight's game. The Kansas City game, $110, $208. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, $165. Niners and Houston.
Wow. Cowboys and Broncos, $257.
Yeah, and Buffalo at Carolina, $173. So Hey, I've as a Cubs fan, I've noticed this. When these legacy teams with really good fan bases come, those prices
jack up crazy.
Talking to you, Atlanta Braves. Every time we come, those tickets, the $10 tickets to sit in the upper deck, somehow turn into $35. They've admitted it to me. I know you do it, which I don't blame you. I do the same
How
thing.
dare jack up ticket prices when a popular team comes to town?
How dare you make money on you got to do what you got. I understand. I do the same thing. Well, Mike, that will do it for our football preview and our conspiracy theories that are literally coming true in front of our eyes. So tomorrow we got a bunch of high school football. We'll have our high school football preview and get you ready. He's going to Baller for Central. I'm right over here for Lawrence County and Lincoln County. Summertown is
I think they're at
home.
Yes.
Versus Decatur Riverside. That's a de facto playoff.
Yeah, that should be a big game.
Should be really good. And don't forget, we got Exports tonight. Myself, Dusty Kaiser, and Clint Brazier be talking all things local sports. I'm sure we'll get into this NBA thing. I'm sure those guys got a lot of conspiracy theories as well. So for Michael Marks, I'm AJ Good. We'll see you guys later tonight.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.